Good afternoon. Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Chad Staley here from Crosse Distilling Company in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Chad, thanks for hopping on.
Hey, good to see you, Stacie. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the Driftless for once.
Totally.
Well,
I
February,
absolutely.
February now. I
It's
was
the
gonna
month
say
of love,
January.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would love to hear more about La Crosse Distilling Company. I know we talked a little bit before I pressed record, and you have a wide variety of things you offer. So if you're okay with it, do you mind if I ask you 6 questions?
Would love it. Happy to share.
Awesome. Thank you. When people ask you what La Crosse Distilling Company does, how do you describe your business?
Well, I'd say we're a farm to bottle distillery, which makes handcrafted spirits, and the handcrafted part is not a stretch of the imagination. Literally, every bottle that goes into a case is touched by our team, and we work directly with Wisconsin family farmers, organic family farmers, and take those grains. We mill those in house and then eventually distill that and put it in a bottle and then get it out on a shelf.
Very, very cool, very unique. So what were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed? You said you've been in business for 5 years now.
Almost 5 years. Yep. We're about 4.5 years in. We started in September 1st, 2018. We wanted to celebrate this region we live in here in Wisconsin called the Driftless region, which that means we were spared of the glaciers that moved down from the north, and it created this really awesome, amazing biodynamic farming region. And we have the most organic farms per capita in the world, and it's the largest organic farming area in the country. So we wanted to celebrate that in terms of bottled spirits because no one, at least right around La Crosse, was doing that. And what we wanted to celebrate these the amazing things these farmers are doing. So that was really the impetus for the company. Myself, one of our partners, Nick Weber, we come from family farmers in our family tree, so have a lot of respect, and they are a dying breed. We're losing family farms by the hundreds
Mhm.
daily. So we felt like this was a really great way to celebrate what these family farmers were doing and create a business model with them. And it's really rewarding to work directly with these farmers.
Very, very interesting. And that actually leads me into my next question. What is the biggest way you impact the community? And it sounds like you're definitely impacting the community by working with these local organic farmers. Would you like to share more about that?
Yeah, we primarily work with two family farms. One is just up north, 15 minutes outside of La Crosse here, McHugh Family Farms, and another farm, Meadowlark Organics, which is down towards Ridgeway on the way to Madison, from here. And over 95% of our raw materials, our grains, come from those two farms. Green Bay Packaging, the Wausau division, does our boxes for our cases. We try to keep dollars as local as possible. We have a restaurant in the tasting room at the distillery here in downtown La Crosse. We work with some local and regional farmers within the restaurant as well. So it's all about keeping dollars close and working directly with other small businesses in the area.
That's incredible. And you also said that you are now in 4 different states, right? In that La Crosse kind of, not really quad state area, but kind of, isn't that true?
Yeah, so we're currently distributed throughout the state of Wisconsin. We're distributed throughout Minnesota, most of Illinois, and then we also have a distribution footprint in Colorado as well.
Congratulations. That's a lot in a short period of time, 4.5, 5 years. So very, very great. What is one business challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Wow, well, there's been a lot of challenges, and we've made some very costly mistakes here early on, but it honestly was the best education we could have gotten as well. For particularly for our businesses, we've really got to be conscious of cash flow, especially when you start talking about whiskeys and bourbons. and those have to lay around for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So you're putting this capital into those barrels, years before you can sell that product. So that's been a big challenge, developing a supply chain, especially through the pandemic, et cetera. That was very challenging. And we had to be really nimble and adaptive and be willing to change course. I think that's been one of our biggest assets is being able to improvise and adapt to, the changing landscapes with either things that we need for our supply chain to get the product made, and then also to distribute the product and get it sold. It was a huge challenge during the pandemic. We were brand new. We had only been around for a year and a half, and we had been primarily focusing on distributing our spirits to bars and restaurants throughout the state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And that, changed, and everybody was shut down, and we pivoted and really started focusing on liquor stores and put our sales team into liquor stores, hand selling our product, literally hand-to-hand combat to make people aware of us and to get our product into their hands. And it turned out to be a win. We grew 70% in the year 2020, despite all the challenges we faced.
Wow, that's incredible. So you actually, instead of just slowing down and all the bars and restaurants stopped, you started to send out your sales crew in safe ways to make sure that you could still get that to liquor stores. Is that correct?
Yeah, and after a few months and things started to open back up a little bit, we worked on having our sales team in the liquor stores doing tastings and previewing the bottle and doing some promotional stuff. We had to do that to survive, honestly, because no one at that point knew who we were. We had only been around for a year and a half at that point.
Really interesting information. And you still were able to gauge that you grew 70% in 2020.
Yeah, we had a full year, of distribution. We really started our distribution channel throughout Wisconsin, November of 2018, but it really didn't get rolling till the start of 2019. So we had all of 2019's data, and it had a solid first full year. But then, once we got into 2020 and in the first quarter, we were doing great in 2020, and then everything shut down. And it took a few months, but we pivoted and really got after the liquor stores and really got our sales force out into the marketplace. And it brought results that has now propelled so much more growth since.
Really smart. And when you bring that point up, that's something that our coaches talk about with our clients a lot, is making sure that you're testing and measuring your results. Because a lot of business owners get into something because they're passionate about it, but they don't really test and measure what they're doing. So you're showing that success directly from testing and measuring. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, data is king, I think, and we're in such a golden age of technology where we can measure all these things, whether it's marketing results, sales results, pinpointing regions of the state or, across our whole portfolio and across all 4 states, and see what's working where. It's all about reading that data and then adapting, and reacting to that data.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. What does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
We love what we do. We did set this company up as a house of brands versus a branded house. So we have our Clear Spirit line, which is our vodka and gin, and those fly under the banner and the brand Field Notes. We have several whiskey brands. There's Downtown Tootaloo Rock and Rye whiskey, which is a flavored whiskey. It's almost like an old fashioned in a bottle. We developed a coffee whiskey, which we get to work with a couple great companies right in our backyard out of Viroqua, Wonder State Coffee and Embark Maple Syrup, because there's a little bit of maple syrup in this coffee whiskey. That's called Hetty Bella Coffee Whiskey. We've got a straight rye whiskey called Robbers Straight Rye Whiskey. And then we have a few different fun things. We have a Christmas gin that we put out at Christmas. Our first bourbon's going to be released in a couple months called Buck Dancer. But we really did that strategically. It's been a bigger lift up front for the business, investment wise, to build
Mhm.
up, individual brands versus it all being Lacrosse Distilling Company vodka, Lacrosse Distilling Company whiskey. But we felt it would strengthen our position in the big picture and in the long run. One, it allows us the flexibility to kill off a brand if it's not working well.
Sure.
And then it also allows us to just sell one of the brands versus selling the entire company. So if there was interest in a particular brand, we might be able to just peel that brand off, sell it, and keep hold of Lacrosse Distilling Company and continue to create new and exciting brands and spirits.
That is really, really smart that you thought that far ahead to think of it that way. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. So the last question I have for you, all subjects open, what inspires you most?
I think trying to be stewards of the planet in our business model has really been what's driven us most. On our main company logo, on our Lacrosse Distilling Company logo, we've kind of got three of our main tenets on there. You'll see on our logo, it says farmer forward, which I kind of spoke to earlier, working directly with these amazing organic family farmers. And then the next line is driftless pure, which speaks to this region and the organic aspect of what we're doing. One of our farmers is doing no-till organic farming, which is all about really building healthy soil and taking care of the ground. And then the last line is genuine Wisconsin spirit, which is kind of our tip of the hat to, Wisconsinites and the work ethic here and the hands in the ground kind of people we are. But as we've done this, we've also developed another main motto that we kind of live by, which is leave this place better than we found it, and in most businesses, if you're doing things the right way, you can live up to that. And we're a geothermal powered distillery, so all our energy is developed from geothermal. We actually use the geothermal water in our distilling process as well to cool down tanks.
Cool.
So again, and then we send all our spent grains after we're done distilling them. They're free of any alcohol. There's still a ton of protein content there. We only take the sugar from it. So we send that back to the farm. So we're trying to be as full circle as possible. And that really drives everything we do.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. And I'm so glad you shared that because that is so intricate and specific to your brand. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you or the business and taste these spirits, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, well, to taste us, you'll find us in a lot of bars and restaurants throughout Wisconsin. And as I mentioned, if people are watching from outside of the state, we're also in Minnesota, Colorado, and Illinois. We, of course, have a website, lacrossedistilling.co. It's not .com, it's .co. And there is a spirits finder, so you can pop your zip code in there, and it'll let you know some stores that are carrying at least some of our products, as well as some bars and restaurants, and we try to keep that fairly updated. We're on all the social media. We might not have a Twitter account, but we have Instagram. That's at Lacrosse Distilling Co. and same with Facebook. So, and there's always lots of fun and exciting things happening there. And lastly, I'd mentioned we just opened up this past football season, opened up a partnership with the Green Bay Packers. And
Awesome.
on the club level and in some of the bar areas, you'll find our products. And there's a lot of exciting things coming ahead with the next few seasons with the Packers as well.
Well, congratulations. That's super exciting. I know you're going to have a wonderful and abundant 2023. And thank you for being a great steward of the earth as well.
Absolutely, Stacie. Thanks for giving us some time to talk. Appreciate it very much.
It's my pleasure, Chad. You have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.